fantastic run. He scored! Amazing goal by Ricky Villa. The big man from Argentina went round 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, everybody. This is the Perchy here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome. We are here to talk about James Maddison and Harvey Barnes. The pair that are at Leicester that got relegated are heavily linked now with Tottenham Hotspur. Yesterday, all the news came out about Maddison and Barnes. But before that, we're going to just quickly talk about, I just want everyone just to sort of everyone talk about it. Massive shout out to everyone that subscribed of late. We're up to 779 subscribers, which is incredible. We're so close to the 1,000. Come on, the last push for the 1,000. And massive shout out to you guys. So let's start. Would people have James Maddison and Harvey Barnes? There was obviously the news that Fabrizio Romano debunked, saying it was completely and utterly false that the £50 million joint bid for the likes of James Maddison and Harvey Barnes. But there are other reports saying that actually that Leicester are happy to take 60 million for the pair. For me, this is an absolute no-brainer. There are also other reports also saying that Harry Winks might go the other way in the deal as well. I think this could not just be two. This could be three birds with one stone kind of attitude. That we could offload a Harry Winks, who at the moment is surplus to requirements, and bring in two players. One that, in my opinion, James Maddison, that is massively crucial at this football club right now. We're so in need of creativity. And also in a Harvey Barnes. So I can see why people are massively excited by Harvey Barnes. But do you know what I am? I think Harvey Barnes would work perfectly in the system that we're going to need. He can come in out on the left-hand side. And if you need to, you can play him down the middle as the sort of number two to James Maddison if you needed to. You're not just buying. You're buying a player that can play alongside him on the left, but you've got a player straight away that could be your second string. So this is for me where we need to work now. I think this has to get done. £60 million with maybe Harry Winks going the other way potentially. As I said, absolute no-brainer. Now let's just dive into it. Let's start with Harvey Barnes for now. Last season, he played 34 games, scored 13 goals, and got one assist in the league. 3 yellow cards, and didn't get sent off. He got 79% of minutes of his starting games, and he in the starting 11 of those 34, 84%. So he came off the bench a few times. For me, I genuinely think a lot of people underrated Harvey Barnes, thinking, it's a player that got relegated. He scored more goals than Heung-min Son last season. Scored more goals than he got the same amount of goals last season as Heung-min Son, Richarlison, and Kulusevski combined last season. Combined. 13 goals they scored, and he scored 13 goals in the league last season. Yes, I know things aren't as in the same sort of sense, but I tell you what, if he could chip in with 10 goals a season for Spurs, 10, maybe even 15 goals, let's just say for argument's sake, between 10 to 15 goals at Tottenham, isn't that exactly what we've been crying out for from midfield? We don't get enough goals from midfield at the moment. We don't get enough goals from anyone bar Harry Kane. If someone like a Harvey Barnes can just chip in with 10 to 15 goals a season in the league, would be amazing. And I think you've got a really good player there. He's got 1 assist, so he's got 14 goal contributions in 34 games. Not spectacular, but definitely better than what we've got. And he's English. He's only 25. He's not old. So you've got a player there who I feel we've got a real capability there. A real capability of doing well. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's an absolute no-brainer. And I think we have a real talent if we get him in. That for me, first of all, that's Harvey Barnes. And I think, I think it is a player that can be done. I think it should be done, and it probably will be done. Now, let's move on to James Maddison. 30 games played last season, scored 10, assisted 9, 10 yellow cards. This is exactly the player we need. You know, when we talk about a perfect fit, I say it all the time on streams. A bit of a pusher. Go streaming later on at 12 o'clock, by the way, so make sure you're there. If you've watched this, go and watch the streams, the lunchtime streams. They're always a bit of fun. Just a bit of a plug in the middle of it. So 30 appearances, 10 goals, 9 assists. I think this player is exactly the player we need. It's a no-brainer. I always say this. It's a no-brainer. He adds the creativity that we need. He adds the ability that we need at the moment. And as I said, if you can get the right price for the pair of these, we've got two really, really good players. And the players I'm really excited to see. Completely and utterly excited to see. Harvey Barnes on the left, maybe. Or even if he's just the number 2 to Heung-min Son. But a player that can push Heung-min Son, great. A James Maddison that can play in an 8, an aggressive 8, or a 10, just offering some creativity. Why wouldn't we want that? We've been crying out for creativity. I've been wanting James Maddison, weirdly. I mean, I wanted him when he was at Coventry. I said at the time when I saw him, I said, this is a lad that can play. He's going to be on the radar in a few years' time. And Norwich, he went to Norwich again, looked good. And then went to Leicester and you went, oh, no, he's a player here. He's a player. Now, James Maddison. I think it's going to happen now. I was really sceptical. I always said that the fit was Newcastle. But I'm going to say it positive for once. I'm going to sit and be positive. I'm going to say this now. I think James Maddison's coming. And I think Harvey Barnes is coming. Watch Tottenham change it, though. Change my optimism. The optimism will be complete and utterly changed. Watch. But yeah, I can see it happening. I can see David Riles are coming soon. For me, at the moment, we need these types of players. These are the types of players that we need. We've got they're talented players. Not the superstars, not the Bastonis, the Vardials. I always say this. We've got to be smarter in the windows. Massively have to be so much smarter. 25-year-old and a 26-year-old. Players that you can have for 5, maybe 6 years. Moulded at this club. Great signings. Engines. We're crying out for engines. We are absolutely crying out for engines at this football club. A player that can pick up the ball and travel with it. Harvey Barnes can be that player. A player that can find a pass in the final third. James Maddison is that player. See, for me, now we have to be sensible here. I think if you can get James Maddison and Harvey Barnes for anything between 60 and 70 million pounds as a pair, no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Two great players that can fit straight into our system in whatever system that we decide to play. As I said, if Harvey Barnes is the cover for the likes of Heung-min Son, so be it. I think 1 year under Son or 2 years under Son, and he can be the first team player. The first team player. I think it's got to happen. I think it's going to happen. I don't know where the air of optimism's come from me, but I see it. I see how they both fit. James Maddison is finally the Christian Eriksen replacement that we've been crying out for years. For years. We haven't had a proper creative midfielder since Christian Eriksen. And finally, it looks like we're on the precipice of getting one. I hope these two are coming to Tottenham. I think they're quality. I think they add absolute dynamism into what we need. And I genuinely see two players that improve us. And that's what I want, by the way. When I talk about signings, I talk about improving us, making us better. Barnes and Maddison do that. And anyway, before I end up, I just want to say, as I mentioned earlier, make sure you go and jump onto the live later. Live will be at 12 o'clock UK. So please come along for that. It's always a bit of a laugh. We just have a chat. I will get your thoughts on James Maddison and Harvey Barnes on that show. We can talk about it. We have a bit of a laugh. We can talk about other things. We can still talk about the likes of David Raya. So I think it's something we can do with Barnes and Maddison. I think it is a signings that are right for us. And on that note, guys, I'm going to leave it. Please like, please subscribe, do the needful, and I will see you guys later at 12 p.m. And on that note, peace out.